At some point, we all experience moments when life feels out of control, leaving us feeling helpless and overwhelmed. But what if I told you that there's a way to not only endure these tough times, but to thrive despite them? Today, we'll explore the insights of Seneca, the ancient philosopher renowned for his ability to maintain inner peace amid chaos. His teachings on Stoicism go beyond mere philosophical reflections. They offer practical strategies that have guided leaders, thinkers, and individuals throughout history and can still benefit us today. By the end of this video, you'll gain a set of Stoic principles to help you build mental resilience and regain control over your emotions and responses, regardless of what life throws at you. Stick around as we delve into how these age-old principles can be applied to contemporary life for a more centered and tranquil existence. If you enjoy what we're sharing and want to support the channel, a simple and free way to do so is by hitting the subscribe button. It helps us continue providing valuable content. Also, if you're here, it's because you value in-depth exploration. Don't skip any part of the video. Consider yourself an exception who appreciates diving deep. First, let's focus on the Stoic principle of dedicating attention to one task at a time. Seneca's saying, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere," highlights a crucial idea often overlooked in our modern rush to achieve more. Focusing on a single activity is a core element of Stoic philosophy and can change the way we handle our daily responsibilities. In an age that glorifies multitasking, it's important to rethink its effectiveness. Multitasking dilutes our focus, leading to more mistakes and lower quality work. Marcus Aurelius, another respected Stoic philosopher, advised concentrating every moment on the task at hand with seriousness and dedication, freeing yourself from distractions. This focused approach is not just about boosting productivity, it's about developing a mindset that values depth over breadth. When we concentrate on one activity, whether it's a professional project, a personal endeavor, or a meaningful conversation, we can engage more fully and achieve greater satisfaction. Plato might suggest that this focused attention helps us reach a higher level of beauty and truth in our work, allowing us to create something that aligns with the ideals of goodness and excellence. Additionally, focusing on one task at a time reduces mental strain, lowers stress, and improves decision-making. Aristotle, who emphasized developing virtues through consistent right actions, would likely endorse this practice as a way to cultivate temperance and self-control, helping us manage our desire for distraction and instant gratification. By adopting this focused approach, we not only follow the Stoic philosopher's lead, but also align with modern psychological insights, which indicate that our brains are not designed to juggle multiple complex tasks at once. Quality of work and overall well-being improve when we devote our full attention to one thing at a time. Socrates' method of in-depth inquiry and dialogue, focusing intensely on a single subject, illustrates the power of this approach. Embracing this Stoic principle enhances not just productivity, but also thoughtfulness, peace, and balance, offering a deliberate and purposeful alternative to the chaos of multitasking. Next, let's discuss how practicing philosophy can help control our impulses. Seneca's insight, "All the greatest torments are the result of an undisciplined mind," uncovers a deep truth about human nature. Unchecked impulses can lead to significant emotional distress and suffering. Stoicism, with its emphasis on self-control and rational thought, provides a framework for addressing these issues. Instead of merely suppressing emotions, which is neither healthy nor sustainable, Stoicism teaches us to understand and manage them. Managing our impulses starts with self-awareness. As Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, famously stated, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This highlights the essential role of self-mastery in achieving true freedom and happiness. By becoming more attuned to our impulses and the triggers behind them, we can manage our reactions more effectively. This doesn't mean ignoring our emotions, but rather understanding them deeply so we can respond in ways that align with our long-term goals and values. Aristotle, too, emphasized the importance of moderating our impulses through the cultivation of virtues. He advocated for finding a balance between excess and deficiency, a concept known as the golden mean. For instance, courage is the balance between recklessness and cowardice. In terms of impulse control, this means finding a middle ground between immediate reactions and total inaction, aiming instead for thoughtful, deliberate responses that reflect our best selves. Moreover, using philosophy as a guide to control our impulses involves understanding our emotions and responding in a way that is consistent with our values, while making rational thought a regular practice. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the importance of aligning our thoughts with rational and virtuous principles. He noted, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This perspective encourages us to focus on our internal responses rather than being swayed by external events, thus gaining greater control over our impulses. By applying philosophical wisdom, we can make decisions based not on fleeting emotions, but on careful thought and reflection, which strengthens our mental resilience and helps us live in accordance with our values. This approach leads to a life where decisions are made with clarity and composure rather than in the heat of the moment. The Stoic approach to impulse control is about nurturing an inner dialogue that constantly evaluates our instinctive reactions. It's about integrating philosophy into our daily lives, allowing us to rise above immediate gratifications and achieve a deeper sense of purpose and satisfaction. This disciplined method of managing impulses isn't merely about avoiding emotional pain. It's about forging a path to a more thoughtful and fulfilling life. Moving on to the third principle, stay prepared. Seneca famously advised, "Rehearse them in your mind, exile, torture, war, shipwreck. All the terms of our human lot should be before our eyes." While this advice might initially seem dramatic, Seneca is advocating for mental preparedness for life's inevitable challenges, a core aspect of Stoic resilience. Stoicism teaches us to anticipate and mentally prepare for adversity, not to instill fear, but to lessen the shock and distress when difficulties arise. This practice, known as premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils, involves visualizing the worst-case scenarios to be emotionally and mentally ready when faced with life's trials. Just as athletes train under tough conditions to prepare for real competitions, mentally rehearsing challenging situations helps us handle stress and adversity with greater poise. This Stoic practice also enables us to appreciate our current situation more fully. By acknowledging how much worse things could be, everyday problems seem less daunting. Embracing this Stoic principle doesn't mean living in constant worry about potential problems, but rather preparing realistically for possible negative outcomes. For instance, if you're concerned about job security, instead of panicking, you might update your resume, enhance your skills, or explore other career options. This way, if the worst happens, you're prepared and better equipped to handle the situation. This principle also applies to broader life changes, from financial instability to personal loss, helping us remain less reactive and more adaptable. Seneca's advice cultivates a mindset that strengthens our ability to face adversity, not by expecting the worst, but by being prepared to manage any situation, thereby enhancing our resilience and mental toughness. Through this Stoic perspective, we can see every challenge as an opportunity for growth and renewal. Lastly, Seneca's insight that difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body underlines a central tenet of Stoicism: voluntarily embracing hardships. This means deliberately choosing to face discomfort, not as punishment, but as a means to build mental resilience and increase our capacity to handle life's challenges. Consider this like an athlete who trains in harsh conditions to prepare for a competition. By pushing their limits in a controlled setting, they become better prepared for the actual event. Similarly, facing difficulties head-on, whether it's tackling a tough project, speaking publicly, or opting for a simpler lifestyle, can enhance our mental toughness and adaptability. Seneca's approach teaches us that by intentionally stepping out of our comfort zones, we're not just testing, but expanding our limits. For instance, if you're afraid of public speaking, regularly putting yourself in situations where you must speak in front of others can transform that fear into a skill. Over time, what once seemed insurmountable becomes manageable and even comfortable. This Stoic practice is not about seeking suffering for its own sake, but recognizing that growth often comes from discomfort. Embracing voluntary hardships also involves adjusting our comfort thresholds. In a world that often prioritizes ease and comfort, choosing the harder path can seem radical. However, Stoicism invites us to reconsider what true comfort means. Is it simply the absence of discomfort? Or is it the inner strength and peace that comes from knowing we can handle whatever comes our way? Integrating this Stoic principle into our lives allows us to appreciate our current circumstances more deeply. By knowing we can endure more, we find greater contentment in the simple pleasures of life. It's about building a life not on avoiding hardship, but on a foundation of resilience. This doesn't mean we seek out suffering, but when difficulties arise, we view them as opportunities to practice our Stoic skills. Embracing voluntary hardships fosters a strong sense of self-efficacy, proving to ourselves that we can overcome obstacles, which in turn builds self-confidence. Each challenge we face and conquer is a reminder of our strength. Let's take Seneca's advice and challenge ourselves to face voluntary hardships. In doing so, we'll uncover not only challenges, but also the keys to a more resilient and fulfilling life. Lastly, Seneca wisely observed, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This statement serves as a stark reminder that it is often our perception of events, rather than the events themselves, that causes us the most suffering. Believing ourselves to be victims of our circumstances can lead to a mindset where we think everything happens to us, rather than for or with us. Stoicism teaches us that our perception of life's challenges profoundly affects our experience of them. If we see ourselves as passive victims, we relinquish our agency and power. However, if we view challenges as opportunities for growth and learning, we maintain control over our responses and approach life with a proactive mindset. For example, if you didn't get a promotion at work, your initial reaction might be to feel sidelined or discriminated against. While these feelings are understandable, Stoicism encourages us to critically assess our reactions. Instead of viewing the situation solely through a lens of loss and unfairness, consider it as a chance to seek feedback, improve skills, or reassess your career path. Avoiding self-victimization doesn't mean ignoring the challenges we face. It means shifting our focus from what happens to us to how we respond. This shift is powerful, moving us from passive reaction to active engagement with our lives. We stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What can I learn from this? How can I grow from this situation?" Stoicism equips us to detach from our initial emotional responses and see the broader picture. It's about understanding that while we can't always control external events, we can control our perceptions and reactions. This mental shift is liberating and empowering, allowing us to live with a sense of purpose and resilience. It makes us better prepared to face future challenges and enriches our interactions with others. By refusing to see ourselves as perpetual victims, we build healthier relationships characterized by mutual respect and understanding, rather than blame and resentment. We become more compassionate, recognizing that just as we are responsible for our own happiness, so are others for theirs. Embracing the Stoic approach frees us from self-victimization, taking control of our narrative, and acknowledging that we are the architects of our reality. This empowerment is central to Stoicism and is key to living a fulfilling and proactive life. So let's rise above victimhood, not by denying our pain, but by reframing our experiences with strength, wisdom, and resilience. Turning to the practice of solitude, this principle isn't about isolation, but about engaging in deep self-reflection and introspection. In our fast-paced, interconnected world, the constant noise can obscure our inner voice and hinder our personal growth. Stoicism teaches that true solitude is about rich self-awareness, rather than simply being alone. The benefits of solitude are profound, as echoed by philosophers throughout history. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about the importance of introspection, asserting that understanding oneself is vital for living a virtuous and purposeful life. He noted, Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul, emphasizing that solitude offers a sanctuary to escape external demands and focus on internal development. Solitude allows us to explore our thoughts and emotions without distraction, providing the space to process our experiences and align our actions with our principles. By regularly engaging in this practice, we cultivate a deeper understanding of who we are and what we truly want from life, which is crucial for living authentically and achieving personal fulfillment. Aristotle also highlighted the significance of self-reflection for achieving eudaimonia, or flourishing, believing that self-awareness and reflection are essential for a meaningful life. The Stoic practice of solitude helps develop resilience. Epictetus emphasized personal reflection as a means to strengthen the mind against adversity, advising that solitude can fortify character and mental endurance. He stated, "It is in your power to withdraw yourself whenever you desire. Perfect tranquility consists in the good ordering of the mind, the realm of your own." Additionally, spending time alone enhances our appreciation for relationships and social interactions. Upon returning from periods of solitude, we often find ourselves offering more empathy, patience, and clarity, which enriches our personal relationships and contributions to our communities. The Stoic approach to solitude is not about escaping life, but deepening our engagement with it. By retreating into ourselves, we gain the clarity needed to act more thoughtfully in the world. Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus all provide a framework for using solitude not as a retreat from life, but as a tool to live more fully and meaningfully. In conclusion, the teachings of Stoicism offer practical strategies for leading more thoughtful, resilient, and purposeful lives. They highlight the value of focus, the power of self-control, the importance of preparedness, the strength found in embracing hardships, the liberation from self-victimization, and the clarity that solitude can bring. Each principle challenges us to turn inward and refine our character, confronting our lives with honesty and courage. Stoicism doesn't promise an easy life, but provides tools to handle challenges more effectively. It encourages us to view every obstacle as a chance to practice virtue and every hardship as an opportunity to test our resilience. By applying these Stoic practices, we're not just surviving, we're thriving, cultivating a life of peace and fulfillment from within. If you're interested in continuing this journey, check out the videos on your screen now, designed to help you explore the practical applications of Stoicism in everyday life. Thank you for joining us today. We appreciate your curiosity and eagerness to grow. Remember, the path to wisdom is long and challenging, but every step you take brings you closer to a more meaningful life. Keep moving forward bravely,